Another day, another Drake reference track leaks. Now listen, I'm all for the demise and the downfall of Aubrey Graham, aka Drake. Hey. But the conspiracy theorist in me is doing backflips because why now? If you've been paying attention, you've known for a few years now that Drake has had ghostwriters, has had a lot of help. But why now? Why does it feel as though somebody somewhere wants Drake to fail? Let's get off into it. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Read My Soul, and I'm back with another video for you. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's being blessed. Yeah. If you're watching this, you're on the right side of history. Go make it an amazing day. And my favorite saying of 2024 is, I'm not here to be right. I'm just here to be me. And if you're looking for the right opinion, I don't know where you can find that, but if you're looking for my opinion, you are in the right place. So let's get off into it, y'all. The downfall of Drake. Are we watching the downfall of Drake? Hey! I don't know about you, but it definitely feels like it to me. I would like to say that I'm all for the downfall of Drake. Hey. These are my two favorite artists of all time right now, at least at the moment. I have a bias. I will just go out there and say that these two artists are my favorite artists, and they both don't like Drake. Kanye got like a love-hate relationship for him. I don't know what that's about. But Kendrick Lamar, I know for a fact, don't like that man. And the conspiracy theorist and the person that is unbiased, the person that likes to keep things fair. So if I'm being balanced, if I'm being fair, something just doesn't feel right. All of these reference track leaking from Drake, all of this Drake hate, just something is off.
What do you mean by that?
It's bigger than just Kendrick Lamar. It's bigger than just Future. Somebody at a higher level has to be upset with Drake. I have two theories.
That didn't take long. Voila.
I have two theories as to what could be going on. My first theory is a little bit on the drastic side. This world isn't what you think it is. As I'm getting older, I'm 31, I understand what corporate interest is. I understand what rollouts are. I understand what a PR statement is. I understand the way the world works. It's not what you think it is. The world is a lot more cynical. It's a lot more planning behind it. The world is a stage. And once you start to understand that, you start to play your part. And my part as a Drake hater would be like, yeah, Drake's going down. As a Kendrick and Kanye fan, as a hip-hop purist, person who loves hip-hop for the pure rawness of it, the thing that comes out of you and your experience, I would love to say, yeah, Drake is done. But the skeptic that's always in me, because things just don't look right. I'm a criminal justice major, and coincidences, we don't believe in coincidences. 90% of people are murdered by people they know. That's the reason why the first person they ask is your spouse, your wife, your significant other, your children. They usually try to find somebody around you because there are no coincidences. There are very rare acts where, things are just random. Most of the things that we see are agreed upon. They have been worked on for years, months. A bunch of different people have worked on them. And we've known a lot of the things that are coming out about Drake. Everybody on the internet is kind of flabbergasted because there are multiple Drake reference tracks. Louis bags in exchange for body bags. Now, these are my two favorite artists, so I don't care if you don't write. Just own up to it. Don't be walking around and making it seem like you're the greatest rapper of all time when really, dude, most of your biggest songs are written by somebody else. I will just say, I'm a big Drake fan. I was a big Drake fan until I found out that he was very high schooly. He was very Caddy Heron, Regina Georges to me. And, Drake's response to Control was very Caddy Heron, very Regina Georges to me.
That verse was a moment to talk about. Are you listening to it now at this point in time? And then it was real cool for a couple weeks. But if I asked you, for example, how does that verse start?
So fetch. Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Oh, do you remember?
I was like, strike one. Then strike 2 and 3 was when I found out Quentin Miller wrote my favorite album by Drake. My favorite song by Drake is Know Yourself. Running through the 6 with my woes. I think that was Drake's magnum opus. I think that was Drake's holy grail of albums. You can say it's Take Care, you can say whatever, but I think as a person who listened to Drake for years, I thought that was the best Drake. Madonna. I mean, there's so many great songs if you read this too late. Quentin Miller thing didn't kind of surround that thing and taint that album. It would be considered one of his best, if not his best album overall. That's just me personally. We can debate about that, but that's just what I think. I think that once I found out that Quentin Miller wrote Running Through the Six with My Woes, Know Yourself, about the Six of Atlanta, and Drake just used it for him, that's when I knew that he was a completely fake artist. Because if you would fake something to that level, if you would fake something that personal, running through the I had him running a Johnny Blank. So I felt as though if an artist would fake something like that, I knew the rest of what I was getting from him was a lie. Now, me personally, my favorite artist is somebody that I feel connected to, somebody that I feel as though I understand their story. And even with as much ghostwriters as Kanye has had, I feel as though I understand him. I feel as though I'm connected to his story. I understand his life and all his flaws and all his mistakes. I feel as though Drake, what the hell are you? Who is he, right? But this is neither here nor there. I'm just kind of explaining like my thoughts on this, but I think there's two reasons as to why this is happening to Drake right now. And I don't think it's just a coincidence, right? I don't believe in coincidences. Too many coincidences, more than likely you got your suspect. So two things here. First thing is a little bit more conspiratorial. It goes into the big Drake iceberg. It actually features one of the biggest Drake deep dives out of all the Drake deep dives. And if you are a Drake fan, or if you're not a Drake fan, you know exactly what I'm about to talk about. So it's two things. The first one, like I said, is a little bit more on the conspiracy side. The second one is more so like maybe a fact. So let's go into the first theory. My first theory is that all of this music that is being released, right, they were considered to be some of the best Drake songs at the time, but they also were marketed and promoted as like disses, right? As I'm recording this, they just released the leaks to the birthday song. It's your effing birthday. And everybody's, people are playing. Hey, you ain't gotta try so hard. The number one thing, if you go down the Drake rabbit holes, which Kendrick exposing him has kind of made people look at him in a different light. So if you go down a Drake rabbit hole, the number one Drake rabbit hole has to do with...
Now, rapper XXXTentacion has been shot in Broward County. The rapper was allegedly targeted while shopping for a motorcycle.
Before X died, he said, if anybody kills me, it's Drake.
I hate to say it. I hate to continue to link them to, but this is going to come out. Drake will never get rid of this. This will never go away. His fan base won't allow it to go away. And now that the fact that he is being exposed to being a liar, to being all these different negative things, Drake and his team knows that. And as layers are getting pulled back to his career and everybody's seeing it's fabricated and it's a fake, that's one layer that you have to get in front of. Peep game where I'm taking you. We're driving. Woo-hoo. Just drive with me. Be quiet. Don't, that's the turn. I know you want to turn off right there, but let me keep driving. Let me show you where the best way to go. So we driving. And if you go down this rabbit hole, you get to the XXXTentacion thing. A week before XXX died, this is totally conspiracy theory, Drake come out with a song, I'm Upset. 50,000 on my head is disrespect. That right there is the fact that XXX came out and said, I have 50,000, or I think it was either 50,000 or 100,000 on Drake's head, right? They were beefing with each other. If I was a detective, if I was a person investigating the murder of XXXTentacion, that's the first person I'm gonna look at, because XXX has said that if anything happens to me, Drake did it. You can go down a rabbit hole. It's so many rabbit holes between Drake and XXXTentacion, right? How would you get in front of that?
Hey, I'm sick of these bitches, I hire a shooter, get rid of these bitches,
If you go and say, well, Drake doesn't write his own music. Most of the stuff he does is art, or it's written for him, right? By releasing all of these reference tracks, then that takes away a sting of that. Because like I said, that is the rabbit hole of all rabbit holes for Drake. I don't care what you say. There's a lot of damning evidence against him. And most of it, a majority of it, is into the lyrics. Drake has not shied away. He's never mentioned this publicly, but he has not shied away. Everybody knows Drake is the sub king. So he hasn't shied away from giving subliminals to XXX or to murdering somebody. Going into the XXX thing, you start realizing he has a lot of criminal ties to people in Toronto. Once you start going into the XXX thing, all of the other negative things that he goes into Toronto starts to come up, and I don't think he could beat those allegations. The only way I think he can get ahead of this is by saying, yo, I don't write most of my music. Mob Ties, who knows if that was written by somebody or not? Who knows if that? We're only hearing it. Mob Ties came out 2018, right? Scorpion came out 2018. We're just now hearing reference tracks now. Who knows if that's real reference tracks? Who knows he just said, yo, we're going to do a bunch of reference tracks so people know I don't write my lyrics, because now they're deep diving into all of his lyrics, dealing with young girls, all of these different things are coming out, and eventually people are going to start asking about, yo, what about this stuff, right? And the only way to get in front of that is to say, I don't write my lyrics. He wrote that. The industry, just as much as they love you, is just as much they'll wait for you to downfall, because they're going to get the check just as much. They're going to get more clicks for your demise than they will your upcoming, right? There's plenty of Drake fans right now, but the industry has gotten way better. Kendrick Lamar has gotten way more views, and they're bringing back his old albums. People talking about Mr. Morale and the Big Stuff. People talking about all of these different things. Like, this man is the GOAT now, because when you destroy something, this is what this world champions. So destruction, this world loves. So just as much as this world will build you up, it'll love to see you destroyed. It's quicker, faster, cheaper, easier. People gravitate more towards destruction than they do love. And hate is way more popular. Just ask Facebook, just ask Elon Musk with Twitter. Hate is makes way more money than love does. That's America. Everything is always a problem. It's always an issue, because all we know is destruction. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe his camp is starting to release all this information, whether it's legit or not, because they want to get in front of, oh, he doesn't write his lyrics, so let's not use his lyrics against him in maybe a court of law. Maybe there's something behind the scenes that we don't know about, right? Like, nobody believed the Diddy stuff. Nobody believed the Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, Dan Schneider, Nickelodeon stuff until the information comes out. So what do we not know about Drake? What is his team trying to get in front of, right? That's my first theory. My second theory might be a little bit more closer to the truth, and that is UMG want to win that contract. Kanye and Lupe Fiasco, their stories about how they were treated in the industry are very eye-opening to me, because I believe that the industry can help you and can hurt you when and if they want. Kanye goes #1 with the album went #1, and the song Carnival goes #1. Now, Kanye comes on with Justin LeBoy, and even though it was a crazy, weird interview,
especially because it ain't wasn't on no label where they could turn it down no more. They've been trying to turn it down since Taylor Swift. It doesn't mean because the shit is artificial. Lucy and Drake, all the shit is artificial.
Kanye always drops some gems. He said, man, what if ever since the Taylor Swift thing, they turned it off on me a little bit, to where how was it flashing lights and all these amazing songs didn't go #1? And it really just made me think, like, oh, wow. If the industry wants you to be at #1, they can make you #1. If they don't want you to be #1, they can make you #1. And maybe UMG kind of turned the machine off for Drake a little bit, because they want to own him. They want to beat him, right? Like, they want to beat him in that contract. When you get an amazing contract like Drake got, there's another side to it. And I'm pretty sure that side is more difficult for the label to win, but I'm pretty sure it's possible. And with the decline of what we're seeing, the public perception of Drake, the public persona that Drake has is now in the tubes. Maybe UMG is pulling some strings behind the scenes to show Drake, like, you ain't as big as you think. Maybe one of the execs, he tried to sleep with their daughters, their wives. Maybe Drake pissed off the wrong person, and they said, okay, guess what? We got you in this contract. Yeah, you might have all that money, but you still have to earn it. You still have to hit these certain accolades. I don't know what the contract is, but this happened to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson gets this amazing deal. Next thing you know, all of these allegations start coming out about him. And there was a guy named Corey Feldman that said, hey, they just put that out there so you wouldn't look at them. They put that information out there about Michael Jackson because the truth is Hollywood and the industries, they're extremely, they're into that weird stuff, that PDF. This is just me asking some questions. This is getting me in my conspiracy bag. This is just me, like, podcasting. This is podding. This is pure podding. Is UMG, like, yo, doing this, pulling the strings so they can own his masters and get his music and win that deal? Because if he pissed off the wrong person on that level, that contract is important, because there's two sides to every contract. Or is Drake just trying to get in front of something else? Is he trying to get in front of XXX stuff? Is he trying to get in front of stuff from Canada? You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in Toronto. There's plenty of information about it that Drake is allegedly linked to. And I don't know, man. Like I said, this world isn't what you think it is. And as you get to my age, you start understanding the world is a stage and everybody's playing a part. You start to look under the surface. You can't really take things for face value anymore. I mean, if you look at things like the pandemic, if you look at 9/11. I don't believe in coincidences. I said this multiple times in this video. Most of the time, you got your man if you got one too many coincidences. Word to George Bush. Fool me one time, shame on me. Fool me 2 times, shame on you. Fool me 3 times, ain't gonna get fooled again. Shout out to George Bush. Hopefully you can sleep at night. But this is just my theories. These are just my questions. Is the demise of Drake orchestrated for a reason? Is he doing this? Is his team doing this so they can get ahead of some stuff to come? Because there's going to be more stuff that comes out. Everything that's done in the dark will come to the light. So is it that? Or is UMG playing chess, not checkers, and saying, checkmate, Drake? Oh, you was running and running your mouth all them years. You beat the contracts. Because you got to understand, money and power, they got all the money. They got all the money. They want the power. They bored. They want the game. They want to show somebody. They want to show a little Canadian kid that you ain't the music industry. And I think that is a little bit more closer to the truth. I'm right in the middle of both. Maybe some of his camp is starting to see that the tides are turning, and maybe they need to come up with a scramble plan to say, oh, Drake doesn't write his music, because we already see how music is being used against the Young Thug in the Young Thug trial. So is his team trying to get on top of it, or is UMG playing chess, not checkers? What say you? Man, this was very long-winded, but this is the kind of content I like to make. This is the content I like to make. I like to just come on here and just have fun and pod. You know, I just want to pod. I ain't got no pod mates. But one day I might have a pod mate. But hey, man, this is just my theories and my thoughts for the day. What say you? Leave a comment, leave a like, ring that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I release a video. Why are we seeing the demise of Drake? What say you? Leave your thoughts in the comments. UMG pulling some tricks? Or is Drake and his team getting in front of some steam, getting in front of some smoke? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Peace.